Hello everyone. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. If you're new here, hi, my name's Savannah. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly here on the podcast every single Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. We also upload the video version onto YouTube on Fridays as well. Make sure you're subscribed over there. And with that being said, you guys, happy Friday. I hope you all have had a great week so far. And if you haven't, guess what? It's Friday. It's the weekend. You did it. You made it. Happy Friday, you guys. I have had a pretty great week so far. I'm not going to lie. I will say it's only Tuesday, but so far so good. We are expecting here in Nashville a winter storm tonight. Very exciting. Very, very exciting things happening over here. We're expecting a winter storm. I always find that the weather in Nashville is so touch and go. I feel like it's backwards in the sense of when we're in fall, it's like fall. We don't really get a fall. Fall weather is like maybe late November, like mid-late November. In December, it was 60 on Christmas or over Christmas. It was 60 degrees. January is when it drops and it's like, okay, we're not messing around anymore. Here is the hypothermic weather. And then February is also freezing. We usually get like one snow in January and then another one in February. It's typically how it kind of evens itself out. And then in March, it's a little touch and go as well. And then once April comes around, then we start to feel a little bit more bright and warm. I will say I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the warmer weather. I'm ready to defrost. That is where I am at. I feel like I have embraced the cold. I have been with it. I've stuck through it. We've done it. I'm over it. I'm over the gray skies. I am over anything less than 65 degrees. I don't want it anymore. And you know how bad it has to get for me to say that? I feel like this happens every year since I've lived in Nashville. I have always felt like this. Like once the temperature dips below 65 in October, happiest girl on the planet. Once it doesn't go above 65 and we're in February, that's when I start to complain. It's just a very interesting time of year for us over here. But yes, we are on a winter storm warning for tonight. It is supposed to snow tonight. And the thing about Nashville, sorry, you're probably so annoyed with this. Just giving you the weekly weather report. The thing about Nashville, they don't know what to do. They being we. I'm a part of this problem. We don't know what to do here when it snows. We act like we have never seen it before. We act as if it didn't just happen a month prior to this. They don't do anything with the roads. The roads just stay frozen. They shut everything down. I have a therapy appointment tomorrow that's right down the street from me. Canceled because winter storm, which mind you, we're only supposed to be getting like maybe 3 or 4 inches. Maybe it'll be more. I don't know, but we're not supposed to be, this is not like a blizzard happening, but everything gets canceled. Everything gets shut down. The schools, all like businesses, everything is just done for the week. So that's what we're dealing with. And mind you, it doesn't bother me. I do not mind that part about it one bit. I love being forced to stay indoors. But after like day 3 of it, I'm like, okay, I need to go outside again. So that's kind of where we're at with the weather here in Nashville. I hope you guys are having a great weather week on your end. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand. I'm ready for the warmth. I'm ready for the sun to come out. I'm ready for, I know that the gopher, is it a gopher? No, it's a groundhog. The groundhog didn't see its shadow. I actually saw that the groundhog has only been accurate 33%. He has a 33% success rate out of all of the times that he's done it. I don't even know if it's the same groundhog every time. But clearly, he doesn't really know what he's talking about. But I did see that he said that we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he's right this time. But anyways, you guys, that's not what we're here to talk about today. I'm so excited because as you can tell by the title, we are doing this thing that actually was like a little bit of a TikTok trend, which mind you, I am back on TikTok. Thank you for everyone who reached out telling me that TikTok was back on the App Store. I really appreciated it. You're a real one. I saw this trend going around TikTok when it was happening, and it's high maintenance things that you do to maintain being low maintenance. And essentially what that means is the routines that you have, the regimens that you have that might seem a little bit excessive or might seem a little bit over the top, but in turn, they keep you low maintenance because it's not always, you don't have to go above and beyond every time for like your makeup routine or like your skincare steps or like your hair or whatever. It's basically just your routines, what you do to keep yourself in check on a daily basis. Okay. That's what it basically is. And I thought, what better time to do this than now? Because I am gearing up for my wedding. That is a crazy thing to say. We are gearing up for the wedding. I'm getting married. I know I haven't told you guys when, but I'm getting married in approximately, maybe more or less around, let me think. Hold on, let me do the math in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 9 months, approximately, somewhere in there, maybe. Okay. So now, which, mind you, that might seem like, Savannah, you have all the time in the world. You have so much time to get everything that you need done. Wrong. I don't know if you know this, because I didn't either, because surprise, I've never been married before. I've never planned a wedding. That's not a lot of time to get things done. Like, it's not as much time as you would think. You see that and you're like, oh, that's enough time. No, it's not. No, it's not. So what I've learned is that I have to start getting ahead of these things, and I have to start kind of putting in my routines now, my regimens now, to prepare me for that time. So what that means is I've really been focusing on ways that I can become my high maintenance, like doing the high maintenance things that make me low maintenance, right? Leading up to that. And I made a list of some of the things that I was doing prior to this, but some of the things that I've incorporated since this, some of the things that are a little bit newer. But yes, the high maintenance things I'm doing to keep me low maintenance. And so that is what we are talking about today. So with that being said, let's jump right on into it. The first one I have on this list, it's very easy. It's very simple. It's skincare. We're talking about skincare. Here's what I've learned over time in my 28 years of life. I have learned that there is something to be said about just going to a freaking dermatologist, someone who is an expert in skin, telling them what is wrong, telling them what you think about your skin, having them look at your skin. You should be doing skin checks anyways, but in terms of just aesthetically and like your skin and, you know, what's going on your face, going there, having them look at it, you telling them what you want, you telling them all of the things, and working together to create a plan rather than, and again, this is what I didn't learn until recently, rather than kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks in regards to skincare that you can buy over the counter, let's say at a Sephora or an Ulta or a Walgreens or a CVS. Not to say that those don't work, because some of them do, but by skipping a step, or what you're doing is skipping a step, because by going to the dermatologist and telling them and having them look at your skin and figuring out what is going on that can help you, that's the step that you're skipping. You in turn are skipping a step and you are going straight to the source. I cannot tell you how much money I have spent on skincare products. I am so easily influenced. I see something online, I see something that looks pretty. If it's in pretty packaging, I'm screwed, because I'm like, that will work for me. Even if I don't think I have that problem, I automatically do. Oh, yes, that will automatically work for me. And guess what? It doesn't. And even more so, do you know that when you use skincare products from like over the counter, like a Sephora, Ulta, something like that, you have to use it consistently for it to work. And if you're anything like me, I don't do that, because I find one thing that I'm like, oh, this might work. I try it for a couple weeks. Maybe it does something, maybe it doesn't. The newest thing comes out. Oh, I'm going to try that. That might work. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. But what I'm doing is I'm prolonging the process of getting to the actual root of the problem and actually curing what's going on in my skin. We've talked about my skin before, and everyone's is different. I know for me personally, I don't have super sensitive skin. I don't have very acne prone skin. My biggest issues are redness, pores, texture a little bit, and just overall dullness. So that's what I really focus on. And I just encourage you to stop. We live in such a consumer society. We've talked about this. It's so easy. Everything is is at our fingertips in terms of what we can buy. You know, you just throw your freaking phone on the counter and, you know, automatically, there you go, you can have it. I encourage you to take a step back, and I encourage you to do some research about dermatologists or estheticians in your area, going to one that is qualified, going to someone who you like. It might take a few times for you to find someone that you gel with, that you vibe with, that you think gets you, and come up with a plan. I promise you, in the long run, you will save. If you're anything like me, if you're not like me and you just don't do the things that I do in terms of just buying skincare products, just trying to see what works because I don't know what to do, then this might not apply to you. But what I've realized is that by going to the dermatologist and talking to them about my skin, someone who knows skin, someone who can look at me and be like, you need to do this. And typically, in my experience, 10 out of 10 times, they have been right. So what I recommend is going to the experts. And that is one of my high maintenance things that I do to be low maintenance. Going to someone who can tell me, this is what's going on with you. This is what you need. This is what'll help you. This is the plan that we're coming up with. I went to my dermatologist just a couple days ago and we did this. And she came up with my plan for what we're going to do leading up to the wedding. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this facial. I'm going to do this laser and all of the things. Yes, it becomes expensive. That's just kind of part of it. It is costly, but you can work with them to kind of come up with a plan. I'm not saying you need like the lasers and all of this stuff. If I wasn't getting married, I probably would not be doing this, like in terms of the lasers and some of the, Clear and Brilliant or microneedling stuff. Although I do think that microneedling is great. And that's something that, another high maintenance thing to remain low maintenance that you can do. But just in terms of like creating a skincare routine, like skincare products, like they can help you with that. The scale and the spectrum of what they're able to do to help you is so broad. So whatever you're looking for, they can help curate that for you. I know that this sounds like an ad right now. It really isn't, but I feel like I'm doing an ad read. I just think that this is one of those things that no one talks about enough because we're just living in the society where you look on Instagram or TikTok and it's like, oh, look at this new thing. Look at this new thing. Look at this new thing. And it's like shiny and pretty and sparkly. And we're like, we want that. Take a step back because I promise you, you could be saving yourself a lot of time and money because these things are not cheap. Constantly buying new products is not cheap. Constantly trying to try out new things, not cheap. Go to someone who knows what they're talking about. Just do it. High maintenance thing that keeps you low maintenance. So that's my first recommendation. Just finding an esthetician in your area, finding a dermatologist in your area that you like, that you feel like will be good for you. And again, it might take you 1 or 2 times to like find someone that you gel with or vibe with. I have a girl that I love and I'm just obsessed with her and she's so cute. And also she has great skin. So I know whatever she's doing, it's working. So that's my first recommendation. My second high maintenance thing that I do to keep myself low maintenance high maintenance thing that I do to keep myself low maintenance. I don't know if I said that, but that's what I meant, is dermaplaning. I am such a fan of dermaplaning. If you don't know, dermaplaning is basically when you take like a little razor to your face and you're basically shaving your face. And what this does is it gets all of like the peach fuzz or any just like dead skin cells that are on top of your face, I think, off. And whatever it does, whatever it's getting off, what I know is that it makes my skin so incredibly soft. And what that helps with is when I go and put on makeup, that makes the process so seamless. My makeup applies so smoothly after I dermaplane. I like to do this on an as needed basis, but I like to say every 3 weeks. I use the Harry dermaplaner. I believe that's what it's called, HARRY. I know they do razors and stuff, but I have that dermaplaner and it comes with like removable heads to the dermaplaner that you can just switch out. I love doing that after I get out of the shower specifically because I find that after I get out of the shower, my pores have opened up because it's warm water and the steam in the shower. I get out and I put on a little bit of facial oil. I think I actually use, I don't know why I thought it was in here. It's not. I use the BioEssence facial oil. Sorry. I like to use something like that really helps the dermaplaner just like slide on more evenly and like glide across my skin. Do not do this with like nothing on your face. Like make sure you either like watch a tutorial because again, it is a razor that you're taking to your face. It's something sharp. So definitely be careful. But yeah, either watch a tutorial, ask your dermatologist or your esthetician or something like that. They also, like if you go to a med spa, they can do it for you. There's a bunch of different ways and different like places that you can look for dermaplaning if you don't want to do it at home, but you also can do it at home and I do it at home. So that's just what I do and I really like it. Again, I do it like every 2.5-3 weeks or on an as needed basis, but I love doing that because my makeup looks 10 out of 10 when I do that. So big fan of that. The next thing that I do, revolves around my hair, specifically hair masks. So my little hack and my little trick that I feel like I've seen more people talk about recently, but when I first started doing it, I didn't really hear a lot of people talk about this, but my trick when it comes to hair masks, because here's the thing, I know that on the back of hair masks, it's like, it always says like put on and wait 10 minutes or 20 minutes in the shower and then wash it off. I'm not standing there for 20 minutes. I don't know if that's what it's implying, but I'm not standing in the shower for 20 minutes while the hair mask does its magic. It's just not going to happen. So what I like to do is I like to get in the shower, wash my body, and then I get out and then I put the hair mask in my hair and I put it up in a slick back bun and I sleep in it. This not only makes it easier for me because I don't have to stand in the shower for 20 minutes, but also it gives my hair the extended period of time that it might need to take in all of the nourishment from the hair mask. And once I slick my hair back and put it up, not only is it like nice and out of my face, but I'm able to keep the hair mask in for the rest of the night. I usually sleep in it. I was on a kick, which you can go back and look at like old Killer Instinct episodes or old episodes of My Thoughts Exactly. And if my hair is back in a bun, it always had a hair mask in it. And I love doing this trick. I just think it works so well because not only, let's say you're doing it like you put in like the slick back bun and then you go out like into society. It looks like you just used like gel or mousse or whatever the girlies use to like slick their hair back. It looks like that, except you're adding the benefit of actually using a hair mask so your hair is getting the nourishment. Does that make sense? I know that for a lot of people, when I see them do these slick back buns, they just use like regular like hair gel. I don't know what it's called. Hair gel, like hair, but like literally, like it looks like the flubber from the Robin Williams movie. Like that's what it looks like they're putting in their head. But I really recommend doing a hair mask instead. It just makes things a lot easier. So that is my big recommendation and my big tip. My favorite hair mask right now, and I actually have incorporated this in several favorites videos on this podcast, is the Color Wow hair mask. I love that one. I also love the Amika hair mask as well. So those two are my top favorite and really dependent on what I want or like the benefits that I'm looking for, I will use either or. But right now I've been on a Color Wow kick, so that is what we have been doing and I love it. I'm typically a nighttime shower person, so I will shower at night, put the hair mask in, sleep in it, wake up the next morning, shower, hair mask out, hair feels amazing, and then I just style my hair as usual. And it's a 10 out of 10 thing. I absolutely love it. Definitely, if you like doing a slick back bun and you haven't tried the hair mask trick, try the hair mask trick. Trust me. Okay, speaking on the topic of hair, this isn't necessarily a high maintenance thing that I do, but I've noticed that this is something backstory. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I definitely have noticed when we look at where my hair was like 3 years ago versus where it is now, it quite literally is a night and day difference. My hair has grown so much over this time period. It has gotten longer. It has gotten healthier. It still is a little thin. Like it's not super thick. I don't have a lot of hair, but it's long. Like my hair has gotten really long. And if you remember, like in the 2021 days, 2021 days, my hair was to my shoulders. It was bleached. It was dead. It just was not looking great. I have heard, and this is like going to be kind of funny. I don't know if this is true, and I think people might just be saying this, but I guess there's this thing called like the healthy relationship hair theory or the relationship healthy hair theory. And apparently when you are in a toxic relationship, and I don't think this has anything to do with the relationship more so than it just has to do with the stress that you're under. When you're in a toxic relationship, your hair gets really dry, it stops growing, it becomes really brittle. And when you're in a healthy relationship, your hair is supposedly grows longer and just looks better and is healthier. So that's what I heard. And when I heard that, I was like, that kind of tracks in my situation. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like in my scenario, in my situation, that just definitely makes sense to me. So I'm going with it. But when I started to ask myself, what am I doing? Because truthfully, I was like, what am I doing that I wasn't doing before? I definitely have stopped bleaching my hair as much in like 2017 to 2019. I was doing it like consistently, like every 6 weeks, every 6 weeks. Now I've stopped doing that. And now I do it like maybe 3 to 4 times a year. So definitely have lessened that. But I also think, and this is kind of annoying because everyone always says this and I just never listen to them. And I don't even think I was doing this on purpose, more so just this is just the habit that I started getting into. I'm not washing my hair every single day. Mind you, let's clarify, because I used to think when people said that they didn't wash their hair every day, that meant that they aren't showering every day. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to shower every day. Okay? It just makes me feel good, makes me feel clean. I'm not judging if that's not your path and your journey, but that is my stance on it. So when people would say, oh yeah, like I just don't wash my hair every day, I was like, what do you mean? Like how do you do that? That's strange to me. And then I started to realize that might not exactly be what they meant. What I interpreted might not be what they meant, because I started to realize, oh, people are still showering every day. They're just not washing their hair every day. Two things can exist at the same time. And then I started to realize when I was thinking about like talking about high maintenance things that I do to keep me low maintenance, and I was thinking about my hair, I was like, what have I done? And then I realized, oh my God, I have not been washing my hair every day. There was a time, this was back in like 2020. I don't know what I was going through. I was going through something where I was showering 3 times a day. I was showering in the morning, I was showering in the afternoon, and I was showering at night. I don't know what it was. There was just something was going on, but that's what I was doing. And I'm pretty sure that meant that I washed my hair each time, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I just threw my hair up and just did like a body shower. I'm not sure. But I know in the past I've been religious about washing my hair every single day. And now I've noticed that I'm not washing it every single day. I'm washing it, every other day. That's typically my schedule. Again, I'm still showering every day, just not washing my hair every single day. And I feel like it has really, really helped. At least I believe so. I could be wrong. And again, it could just be the healthy relationship hair theory. It could be the collagen that I take, which I'm about to talk about in a minute. It could be a multitude of different things, but it definitely is one of the things that I've added into my routine subconsciously that could have played an effect on my hair. And I used to hate when people say that they didn't wash their hair every day and that you had to train your hair. That bothered me because I just was like, I don't want to do that. Why do I want to train my hair? It's not a dog. I felt like, and why people say that is because the main reason that people don't not want to wash their hair every day is because they say that their hair gets greasy if they don't wash it every single day. And that's why people say, oh, you have to train your hair. And then after a while, your hair will just know and it won't get greasy every day. But the reason it gets greasy every day is because you're washing it every day. So when you miss it, your hair goes, it has a little bit of a freak out. And so it's going to get greasy. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to train my hair. Like, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't know what it is. I don't know why I just subconsciously stopped washing it every time, but I just did. I do believe though, I do agree that I'm the type of person where my hair still gets like a little bit greasy on second day hair. I'm on second day hair right now, hence the headband. When I was getting ready to film, I was like, yeah, no, we're throwing in a headband. If you see me with a headband, 9 out of 10 times, it's because I'm on like second or third day hair. That's just where we're at. So that's that on that. But that's something that I've been doing that I feel like has helped my routines and helped my regimens and doing the hair masks and not washing my hair every day. It's all worked. It's all working together. Okay, next, as I said in the previous note about the hair, I was talking to you about collagen. I briefly mentioned it. Collagen has been something that I have been putting into my routine that I have been loving. Now, here's what I will say about prior to doing it this time and why I feel like I'm going to be able to stick with it this time around versus the others. Previously, when I would take collagen, I would always like put it in a cup of water and I would mix it around and like drink my little cup of water and whatever. And it just became tedious and I didn't want to do it. Did not want to do it. The thing about me is I like to find ways to incorporate things into my already pre-existing routine, right? If I have to remind myself every day to do an extra step, I don't really like that. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm at with it all. So I decided, okay, I need to start taking more protein. I want to increase my protein intake. It's important for me and it aligns with my health goals. Now, some of you may know this. I've talked about it briefly before, but I do work with a trainer. I see this trainer twice a week. Love my trainer. Her and I have talked multiple times at length about this protein powder that she mixes in with her coffee every single day. And that piqued my interest because I was like, I love coffee. And if I could mix in some sort of protein collagen, because that's what she said it was like a protein powder, but it was collagen with protein in it. Like, so collagen was like what it was advertised as, and it had protein. If I could just mix that into my coffee, that is like killing two birds with one stone, because I love coffee in the morning. That's my thing. I wake up in the morning and I go to my little Keurig and I press the button and I make my coffee. Usually Hayden makes it for me actually, but I've been doing it more recently because of the collagen thing. So basically she was telling me about this and I was like, wait, I love that idea. I need to start doing it. So I did my own research. I researched the brand that she used, but then while doing that, I found another brand that I actually just liked, not like more, but it just felt better, like a better fit for me. And it was a brand that this fitness influencer that I follow, she talks about a lot. And so I'd been seeing it prior to finding that they also did a very similar makeup of a product of collagen with protein in it. So I had seen this fitness influencer talk about it constantly. And I was like, okay, wait, like, let me look into this. So I found, and mind you, this is the best part about it. Sorry, I'm like so scatterbrained. I'm going all over the place. Let me finish the story and then I'll tell you the best part about it. So I got the powder thinking it was strictly just a collagen powder that I was putting into my coffee in the morning. Why I never tried this before, I do not know, but I think I was just under the assumption that there was no powder that could actually mix into my coffee and not like taste like nothing, if that makes sense. So that's always why I strayed away from it. But with the product that I found, I was very, very mistaken and it turned out beautifully. So the collagen that I take is the ProMix collagen, and it is their collagen powder. You can get it on Amazon or you can get it on their website. On Amazon, which is where I bought it from, I believe it was around like $60, which I know that's expensive, trust me. But what I will say is you get over 2 pounds of it. It comes in a big freaking bag. So like there's a lot of product in there. You get your bang for your buck, I promise. So I got that. And what I liked about it is that it's a clean brand. When I went through the website and I was reading all about it, I was like, I like this. So I got that and I do 2 scoops of the collagen mix into my coffee, warm coffee every single morning. I have not tried it with iced. That's what I will say. I have not tried it with ice, but I'm pretty sure if you were to because how I make iced coffee at home is I make the coffee hot and then I pour it over ice. So I'm sure if I were to do it where I wanted to make an iced coffee, I would just make the coffee like I would normally for a hot coffee and including the collagen powder in there, mix it and pour it over ice and it would be the same. But what I realized, and this was the best part about it, so I was talking to my mom and I was telling her about the powder, the ProMix collagen powder. And I was telling her that my trainer had used this, had a similar product that she used that had protein. And I was under the assumption when I bought it, I had no idea that it had protein in it. I just was buying it strictly for the collagen. And then I went in and I looked at it because I was on the phone with my mom and my mom was like, does the one you're using have protein? And I was like, I don't think so, but let me check. Turns out it actually had more protein in it than the one that my trainer was using. So I was like, wow, okay. So like I said, ProMix collagen, I put it in my coffee every single morning and I absolutely love it. And it, not only do I know, I got the French vanilla flavor. I probably should say that. I got the French vanilla flavor. I know that there's an unflavored version. I will say my mom got the unflavored and she said it does have a taste. But here's the thing about my coffee in the morning. My mom likes coffee that tastes like coffee. I do not. I like coffee that tastes like not coffee. If I have a coffee that actually tastes like really pure coffee, it'll give me a headache. So I kind of have to sweeten it up a little bit. Typically, I just use the Chobani like vanilla creamer and it works perfectly. But now I also include the ProMix collagen powder, which is the French vanilla flavored. And I just use a regular, like a Starbucks K-cup for the Keurig. It's the breakfast blend. So that's kind of how I make my coffee in the morning. But my mom likes coffee that tastes like coffee. And she was saying that the unflavored version definitely has a taste. But again, I would not know. So I recommend the French vanilla version. They also have a chocolate and I believe one other, it might be a strawberry. I don't know. You guys can check it out if you want, but I definitely recommend including some sort of collagen that has a protein if you want it. It's like killing two birds with one stone. We're working smarter, not harder here, people. You get your collagen and you get your protein and you get your coffee. Name a better trio. You can't. So that's what I recommend as well on my routine. Okay, next, number 6. This pertains to tanning. Okay. I was vlogging before we did this and I was talking about, because I'm very pale right now. Despite my face, I've used a darker self tanner and I used a lot of bronzer today. So despite what you're seeing on here, I was talking in the vlog about how my skin is very pale right now. And I used to consistently, if you remember the 2017 days, you would know I worked at a tanning salon. I had my tanning salon era. I was constantly tanning. It said in our job description, we had to be tan. That was like, there was no negotiating on that, which like makes sense. But what they also didn't tell us is there was just so much that went into it. If you go back and look at old videos, old playlist videos, everyone used to comment that my hands looked atrocious. Oh my God, have you seen your hands? As if I don't have 2 eyes, because I was cleaning the tanning solution and the tanning solution will be clear. But if you know anything about tanning solution, it develops over 6 to 8 hours. And when I would look at it, I would be like, oh, okay. So I would wake up in the morning and I would look like I tie-dyed my hands. So that was a whole thing. But this pertains to tanning. I feel like this may or may not be a universally known thing, but I'm going to share it anyways, just in case it's not. If you're getting into your self-tanning journey, if you don't know, especially because we're going into spring and summer, the warmer months, hopefully, God willing, I'm crossing my fingers. So what I recommend is picking a day to do your tanning. Typically what I recommend, and again, this is where I feel like this may or may not be a known thing, but I'm going to say it anyways. The best day to self-tan, 100,000,000,000%, you cannot convince me otherwise, is a Thursday. The best day to self-tan is a Thursday. Why, you might ask? When you tan on Thursday night, your tan will develop over the night. I personally like to sleep in my tan and let it really soak in there and really let it do its thing. And then I wake up on Friday morning and I will shower. Some people like to just wear it throughout the night and shower before they go to bed, whatever floats your freaking boat. Me in particular, I'm sleeping in that. So I sleep through it. I wake up on Friday. I shower. My tan, fresh, new, bronzed, glowy. We love it. And I'm ready for the weekend. That is why it is the best day it's the best day to do it. The best day to tan is always going to be a Thursday. You cannot convince me otherwise. Thursdays are the best because you have your whole weekend and you're setting yourself up for success by being tan, if that's what you want, on the weekends, especially during the spring and summer, because you're going to get hot. You're going to wear tank tops, t-shirts, shorts, whatever, and you just want to be tan. I know for me, I feel the most confident when I am tan. And so being able to add this into my routine, it's become a part of my routine. Like being able to add it, it's just become a part of my routine. Every Thursday, tan. Every Thursday, tan. Do I take weeks off? Yes, because sometimes I will say self-tanners take a little bit longer to fully remove themselves from your body. Have I been in a situation where I did not care and I've layered on layered self-tanner over the weeks? Yes. Do I think that the best time to have a fresh, beautiful self-tan is with a clean slate and not having any previous self-tanner? Yes. But can we always get what we want? No. So sometimes we just have to work through it and you just do it on over it. So it doesn't matter. But self-tanning on Thursdays, just do that. So yeah, just trust me on that one. That's coming from a previous tanning salon employee. Thursdays are the best days. Okay, number 7. When you are wanting to go to sleep, and again, I don't know, this isn't necessarily a high maintenance thing, but it definitely is a little bit of a hack that I have implemented into my routine. This might be something, again, where everyone's like, Savannah, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. We already knew this and you're new to the program. I'm going to tell you anyways. Let's talk about melatonin for a second. If you're like me and sometimes you can't sleep and sometimes you need a little bit of melatonin to help you get there. I love Lemmy Sleep. I also love Ollie, the brand that you can get at like Target or whatever. And they have all these different types of gummies and they have melatonin. Love that. I love melatonin. I don't take it every night. I used to. Don't recommend that. I just now take it on an as needed basis if I'm like up and I can't sleep. But what I've learned to do, because my only gripe with melatonin was the fact that sometimes I would wake up groggy and I'd be like, oh, like this is actually really brutal. My hack and what I have learned, because previously I would take melatonin right when I got into bed. I got into bed, I would take the melatonin. And if I got into bed anytime past like 10:30, I would screw myself over, because to me, in my body would not be fully finished processing the melatonin until like later on into the next morning after I already woke up. So I was going to be waking up groggy if I took it past a certain time. So what I have done is once I get into, I've also just like gone to bed earlier. That's like kind of why this has helped as well. But with the ability to go to bed earlier, I am taking melatonin earlier. And so what I've learned is even if I'm not going to bed right away, even if I'm like 30 minutes away before I even like get into my bedroom for the night, I'm going to take a melatonin. That way I'm setting myself up for success, and I will be sleepy by the time I get into bed. I will easily fall asleep, and I will wake up feeling refreshed. What a concept. Look at that. Amazing. So my tip here would be to take the melatonin about 30 minutes before you actually even like want to start thinking about going to bed. And once you actually start like winding down for the night, that is if you're like going to bed at a good time. If you're going to bed at like midnight, and you have to wake up early in the morning, I don't recommend taking the melatonin, because you're just going to screw yourself over. So I don't know what you would really do in that sense, but I'm just talking about generally speaking. So there's that. And then my last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So this has been great for a multitude of reasons, this next one that I'm going to talk about, because I have noticed, so being 28, I can just start here. Being 28 years old, I have noticed that my body definitely reacts to alcohol differently than it did when I was in my earlier 20s. Ew. I don't like saying that. But when I was in my earlier 20s, or when I was going to say my late teen years, then I realized that you cannot drink when you were a late teenager, but I definitely was. So anyways, there was a time in my life where I was like hungover, like who is she? I don't get hungover. Like, doesn't happen for me. And then I reached the age of 25, and then I started incorporating wine into my life. I will die on the hill that a wine hangover is the worst hangover that you can have. It is horrible. And what's even more horrible is I love wine the most. I love a glass of red wine, white wine and yapping. I love it. I will be there. Sign me up. But here's the thing. I have noticed that I get very swollen the next morning. I'm puffy, swollen. I have a horrible hangover. I move so slowly. It takes me like a good 48 hours to recover. It really does. And so I realized this, today will be 9 days. I'm 9 days alcohol free today. And that might not seem like a lot to you. And I'm not saying this because I'm like making an announcement that I'm going sober or anything. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I have done in the past like 9, almost 10 days to kind of help my alcohol intake, because I realized like I had the holidays. Well, first of all, back it up. I got engaged Thanksgiving, drank so much on that trip, came home, was drinking wine. I was someone who had wine like very consistently, like every night. I go through phases with it. Like there's times where I won't drink. I'll drink like maybe 2 or 3 times a month. And then there's times where I'll like always have a glass of wine with dinner at night. I don't know. It just depends. But I realized, so like December was drinking a lot. Christmas, the holidays, everything. Always had a glass of wine in my hand, which I love. Like I love it. January. Okay, so you go through New Year's, January, my birthday, drinking. Afterwards, Hayden's birthday, drinking. I have not had a break from alcohol is what I'm trying to tell you. I have not had a break where I can give myself or my body a break in like a good 2 months. So because of that, I was like, all right, I want to just detox. So I told myself it was the day before the Super Bowl was the last time I drank. And on the Super Bowl, I was like, I need to take a break. I need to give my body a rest. I need to give my body a break. This is just, I can tell it's wearing me down. I just am waking up tired and I don't feel well. And I just wasn't doing what I needed to do. So there was just a lot going on. And so I told myself, I'm not going to be drinking for the rest of February. Surprise. I said that to myself because first of all, we were already a week into the month and it's the shortest month of the year. So that was like my little like gift to myself. I'm like, okay, it's only like 3 weeks. Like we can do this. And so now I've been doing it for almost 10 days. Tomorrow will be 10 days and I feel great. I really do. I will say, I have noticed around 5 o'clock every night, which right now it's 5 o'clock and I'm itching. I notice that like, I want to drink, like, and not an alcoholic drink. I just like want to have like a little cute glass in my hand. I love just having a little beverage in my hand to just hold and walk around the house with. I just love it. So I was talking to my trainer about this because she did dry January and I'm doing basically half dry February. And I was talking to her about it and she was telling me that there's this spot in Nashville that has all these mocktails. Now, we've talked about mocktails before on this podcast, and if you know, you know. I don't think that I don't get it. I'm not a mocktail person. I'm not going to go to a restaurant and order a mocktail. To me, I don't really think it serves a purpose for me. Again, that's just my personal thing. I get why people like them. I just don't, because to me, it's just like sugar and calories. And I'm not going to drink it just to drink it. If I'm going to drink, I'm going to have a drink. Like that's kind of where I stand. But she was telling me about the store, and it's called Killjoy. And shout out to them because they have a great store. If you're ever in Nashville or you live here and you want to go check it out, I definitely recommend it because they have an amazing selection. And again, we were talking about mocktails and I told her, I was like, I'm not into it. I don't like the mocktail thing. She's like, no. It's not just mocktails. She was like, they have drinks that have CBD, THC, adaptogens, like all of these different types of alcohol alternatives. And I was like, okay, this I can kind of get behind on. Now, I've said this many times before. I don't like getting high. It's not my thing. I don't smoke. I don't like it. I've like alluded to this story several times. In my last long-term relationship, my ex-boyfriend, he gave me an edible and it was the first time I'd ever done it. And it was a horrible experience. And so it's turned me off to that ever since. And he was like this major stoner and that was just like his thing. And then he was like, here, take it. And I was like, okay. And then I did and it was horrible. So I've been turned off to it ever since. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. And she was like, there's other options out there. So I went into the store and I bought multiple drinks of all different kinds. And I really have been loving it. I'm not going to lie. This has been something that I've incorporated into my routine more recently. Like I said, it's only been like 10 days, but I've just found that it's been such a nice alternative to have. So my favorite ones have been so far. I do want to go back to the store, but we're under a winter storm advisory, so I cannot right now. But my favorite ones that I have are the Kin drinks. I'm pretty sure like Bella Hadid is somehow incorporated with them, and I don't know how or why, but I think she might be like an investor or an ambassador. I don't know. But I tried them and I loved it. Did I feel drunk? No. Did I also feel like completely sober? No. I felt like I kind of felt like I'm just like chill. And it wasn't like a noticeable shift. It wasn't like, okay, I'm stressed. Oh, now I'm chill. It was just like a gradual, like, oh, this feels nice. And so I got those drinks and I absolutely love them. I ordered another packet of them. You can get them on Amazon, which I really like. I also got the recess drinks. You can also get those on Amazon. I really like those. And then I got one drink that did have CBD and THC in it, but it was like a very small amount of THC. It was like 2 milligrams. I've only had one of those and I didn't feel anything. So I think it's fine. But anyways, that's been something that I've been loving to incorporate into my routine that has made me feel just good at night. I'm like, okay, I don't have to like completely like limit myself to not having alcohol. So I can't have anything. I can only have my water. It's like, oh, I can have my cutesy little drink and still feel good. And then also I wake up feeling amazing. Like I feel so good. And again, that's why people do dry January. I get that. I'm just like a month late to it. So I'm doing half dry February. I don't know. I'm not going to I think the thing is that once March hits, I'm not going to be like, okay, like I'm waiting for March so I can have a drink. I'm just doing this to give my body a break and give my body like a little bit of a reset. And I plan on doing this multiple times leading up to the wedding. So I'm probably going to do it now. And then, I am doing it now. And then there'll be probably like 2 or 3 more times leading up to the wedding, where maybe even more than that I will do this again, where I will kind of give my body a break from alcohol, because I just feel like it slows me down so much. And I totally understand why people don't drink as a, who choose not to, just for reasons of that alone. Any reason is a valid reason, but for that alone, I totally get it. So that has been something that I've been loving to incorporate into my routine lately. So that is where we are at with all of it. And that, you guys, is my list. That's my regimens. Those are my routines. Those are my high maintenance things that keep me low maintenance. And that is all for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure, if you are not already, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Whether you're watching me on YouTube or whether you're watching me on the podcast, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. That way you never miss an episode. Like I said, we post weekly every single Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. I will be back next week with a brand new one for you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.